Hi, everyone, and welcome back to According to Mark. For episode number 15, we are looking at Mark chapter 10, verses 46 to 52. So let's read that now. As Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving the city, a blind man, Bartimaeus, which means son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet. But he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called to the blind man, "Cheer up, on your feet, he's calling you." Throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked him. The blind man said, "Rabbi, I want to see." "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. According to Mark, this moment of Bartimaeus receiving his sight follows another story of the disciples arguing about who is the greatest disciple. Even though they have been following Jesus, they are unable to see that the kingdom of God is not about power, authority, and status, but about service, humility, and trust. So, with the disciples confused about the kingdom of God, now enter onto the scene the son of Timaeus, which translated in English is the highly prized one. This use of poetic irony reveals not only that the gospel writers of Mark were literary geniuses, but it actually reveals what it looks like to be highly praised in God's family. We witness that to be highly prized in God's family does not mean that you will be highly prized in the world. What we see in this story is the first time that Bartimaeus cries out for Jesus, it is met by shushing and by the crowd communicating that he is not important enough, not valued enough to meet with Jesus. To be highly prized in God's family means that we have a healthy humility and reliance on God to bring healing and wholeness in our life. For Bartimaeus, it was physical healing for him to receive his sight. For you and I, our healing, our wholeness might come in the form of being able to let go of anger, being able to let go of judgments, and being healed from insecurities. Being highly prized in God's family starts with sincere, authentic, and costly trust. Bartimaeus, when he is called by Jesus, throws off his cloak. And for a blind beggar, that cloak probably was one of his only possessions. And it was not only just a possession, but it was a sense of safety and security. As we follow Jesus, we are entering into a trust relationship where we learn to let go and release control to him. Being highly prized in God's family is about receiving new sight. For Bartimaeus, this comes in both a physical sense and a spiritual sense. After he is restored physically, he goes on to follow Jesus and to learn how to perceive the world, how to look at people, how to determine values, how to walk in purpose. Friends, Bartimaeus was invited by Jesus to come to him, and we are being invited by Jesus too, and that is good news. Thank you so much for checking out episode number 15 of According to Mark. I hope it was encouraging to you, and I will see you back shortly.